Hello, welcome to Geoff Schwartz is Smarter Than You. Today's episode of Geoff Schwartz is Smarter Than You is presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. September 2nd, it is a Tuesday. I'm Geoff Schwartz alongside Gabe Goodwin and Gabe. College football week 1 is in the books. I was in Eugene, Oregon to watch Oregon play. You were at the Coliseum to watch USC play. I made money on both our teams. I bet on Oregon, I bet on USC. A little extra something on Friday. I was looking at some lines, so I'm happy. Today, my Ducks win 59-13. Your Trojans won 73. Is that right? 73 right. To what? 73 to what?
Left long before the game ended.
I would have too. We stayed the entire game, by the way.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, my wife was like, let's go on the field. They let fans on the field afterwards. And it was a long day, but I loved it. Oregon, dude, thank you so much. They take great care of me. Talked to Lanny for a little bit, talked to the staff. It was fantastic. A lot of fun there. But our teams are not the story of week 1. There's plenty of stories. And the final story, Gabe, was last night as TCU takes down Bill Belichick's Carolina. I have never seen you with more of a shit-eating grin if you're not watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
Gabe, if you're new here, Jets fan, don't let him forget it,
Reformed.
And despises Bill Belichick and Tom Brady more than anyone that you despise. And so, Gabe, I feel like last night was a win for you.
Yeah, those two guys ruined 20 years worth of Sundays for me. But Bill's Monday got ruined. His debut at UNC did not go as planned. So Chapel Bill takes the L. It was his biggest loss of his head coaching career, 48-7 for TCU. He's never gotten beat that bad, even though their last couple years there in New England weren't great. So I guess, what are you supposed to say if you're one of the people who's been on record saying this is going to work or he's going to take the college world by storm? What's the argument those people want to make today? Did you see anything on tape that looked good?
No. And I thought, Gabe, maybe I wasn't vocal about this enough, but I did mention this on Bear Bets, another podcast I do. So I have record of this, is I thought they would stink this season. And the reason why is college football, of course, is an X and O sport, but sort of not always, right, Gabe? It's about acquiring talent. First, you have to have the talent to execute the X's and O's. And if you look at Bill Belichick's run at the end in New England, he got worse at drafting every single season.
Mm-hmm.
He got worse at free agency every single season. And to expect him to come into college football, a different sport, and be able to bring the talent he needed felt a little far-fetched to me. And I'm not saying that he can't do it ever, but the idea that he's going to come in this sport and be good at acquiring the right talent, not just acquiring talent, the right talent, right? I mean, look, a good example is your USC Trojans about acquiring the right talent, right? Like, it's not just acquiring certain guys, and USC is starting correcting that. They've realized, and look, Rise talked about this, right? Like, we sort of didn't do it the right way the first couple of years. We just acquired bodies, but we need to acquire the right guys, and USC is fixing that right now. They're acquiring the right guys to build for the future. And Bill Belichick, to me, didn't do that in the NFL. Why would he do it in college football? I'm not saying that a quarterback from South Alabama can't be great, but he got benched like immediately, Gabe. That was, and so the entire guy that you basically built your offense around from South Alabama immediately gets benched in the first game. And so I've always contended that I think Belichick can still coach X's and O's. Like, they didn't get schematically beat. Yes, they got physically beat because they're not good enough. They don't have good enough players. I know people say, well, the recruiting class next year is pretty good right now. Sure, it can be pretty good right now, but is it the right players he's bringing in? Because in the NFL, he couldn't evaluate the right players, right? Cole Strange drafted in the first round, got cut by the new staff immediately in New England. So to me, that's really what it was, is that I just saw a big talent. And TCU is not they're not a playoff team, 48-14. The last thing as well that it's going to be a theme, I think, maybe throughout the show. It's kind of interesting when it comes to college football. So your first drive of every game is most often scripted, right, Gabe?
Mm-hmm.
And it's scripted not basically like every play 1 through 15. It's situationally, right? So you have basically an open field script. So from the 20 to about the 20, it's scripted maybe in order: first, second down plays, normal down and distance. And then you have your first third down, your first third and short, your first third and 2 to 3, your first third and medium, your first third and long, your first third 11 plus, your first red zone play, so you basically have a package of plays that you've been practicing in a normal week, right? Starting Friday, maybe Friday, then Saturday, and then you talk about Sunday. In college football, because it's your first game, like you've had 2 weeks probably to prepare this opening script. We saw a lot of teams in college football this weekend that are not really good in offense come down and score immediately on their first drive because they've had weeks to prepare for that first drive game. And as soon as that drive ends and you're quote unquote off script now, they stink. Like Carolina, I was watching the game. I'm at my son's baseball practice last night. I'm watching the game on my phone. I'm like, bing, bang, boom, down the field, touchdown, 7-0. And then nothing the rest of the game for Carolina. So, and look, it's varying degrees of this, right? But we saw happen a lot of games yesterday, really not yesterday, but Saturday, even Thursday and Friday, where teams scored early and then really didn't look the same the rest of the game.
The announce booth was sort of trying to coax something out of UNC. Obviously, they wanted the storyline. They wanted to see Belichick succeed. By the time I was paying attention, we had like both of Brad Johnson's kids in the game. Apparently, they both go there, and they actually look pretty good. Like it was backups, and it was out of hand. And then the only story was, and I'm saying that we're borderline ban topic list here. The story was like Kirk Herbstreit's dog in the announce booth. Like we're this close to banning the dog, okay? But I want to talk about it right here, right now. Is the media going to just try to keep this Belichick thing alive? Because they were certainly doing their best, and I'm not criticizing them for that.
The dog, it's close to the ban list. I did send a text message to someone this weekend, and like, the dog's on a game day set, like the whole set, like the entire time, like they're interviewing Ryan Day, a big interview, like on a separate set, like set 2, right? I don't know what you guys call in the industry, Gabe, but like a different set, and like the dog is sitting next to Herbie. It's fine. I have a dog too. I love my dog. He's not in here now. He's laying behind me for the show, but I think we're getting close to that take. By the way, Lee Corso, really great send off.
Legendary.
So congratulations to that. That was awesome. Fox even cut into their broadcast to show the very end. Of course, he put on the Brutus head as we knew. The Belichick story, Gabe, is a whole. I've said this publicly. I don't find it very interesting. I really don't. Mostly, I think he's going to fail. And they're trying to make it Deion Sanders. Oddly enough, TCU, by the way, if you recall, lost to Deion in his first game, and they beat the shit out of Belichick in his first game. The Deion story is so much better because Deion brought his son and Travis Hunter. Yeah. He had those 2 guys that we knew were good. Now, how good were they? And then, of course, Deion is very bold about proclamations about how good his team was going to be, right? So you get sort of the Deion energy and vibe and personality with Shedeur and Travis Hunter and I'm bringing my Louis bag, all those things. Like, you get all that, right? The Carolina story is his 24-year-old girlfriend is being a nuisance in the PR world. I don't find that story interesting, quite honestly. Like okay. I mean, they were selling, I sent you the pillow history, they were selling like shirts with her silhouette on it in the bookstore. I don't find that interesting. And so I didn't think Belichick was going to be Deion Sanders. They're trying hard to make it. I mean, ESPN has sold into the Belichick story this season. And the Deion story worked a lot because they won the first 3 games. That's why it worked a lot. Carolina actually comes here and plays Charlotte. That might be Bank of America Stadium, but like, who's going to give a shit about that game? I'm supposed to care about North Carolina, Charlotte? I mean, that first season, Colorado also played TCU off a playoff berth and Nebraska in the first 3 weeks, I believe, right? Like they played some big names. I'm supposed to care about, it's Carolina and it's actually at home for Charlotte. Like I'm supposed to care about this game. So I think the stories are totally different. Remember, Deion was coaching college football. Mm-hmm. He had his son, he had Travis Hunter, and they're trying to make it this. And I don't think it at all is a Deion Sanders story.
Okay, well, here's another major story out of college football that I think is easier to grab onto and immediately have takes on. Another big name, legacy name, Arch Manning makes his, big debut, if you will, starting debut. Loses, does not look good. Low scoring game. Ohio State now presumably will be the number 1 team by the time most people listen to this. Beats Texas. Let's stick with Arch for a second, then we'll move to the coaches. What happened? I thought this guy was the next big thing, and he just couldn't really move the ball. I mean, one decent drive, but it didn't look good.
I was honestly surprised. I actually thought we got the game from Ohio State that we were going to get. I think I told you I was mad at this. I picked Texas to win the game. I thought Texas would win the game. I thought it would be low score. I picked 21-20 was the final score I had. So I
Yeah.
thought Ohio State was sort of what I thought they would be. The thing with Arch, I still think he's good. And he just had a bad first game against a defense, and we'll talk about that in just a second, that was very prepared to play Arch. And it wasn't the game that they wanted. You want those quarterbacks to elevate, and I don't think we saw him elevate the players around him. It's still a very long season. I don't really think we should jump off the Arch Manning train quite yet, but it was not what we needed to see from him in game one, right? And I was very surprised. They didn't run the ball well. They got stuffed on fourth down many times, which isn't great. I know there are people arguing that they sort of had the training wheels on Arch Manning. Those are for those people that watch the film on games, not so much me. But I think just holistically, the offense kind of got their asses kicked, and that was unexpected.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming. Ohio State can still play. Their quarterback looked pretty good. Um, the guy, though, who got all the credit, sadly, this goes right back to the Belichick world, Matt Patricia, known
Yeah.
for wearing a pencil over his ear, even though he has a laminated play sheet. Not sure how we put those two together. Matt Patricia, of course, was the defensive genius who prevented Arch Manning. It was all Matt Patricia, the new DC, for a day. Is that true? Is that really what happened?
He did really well.
Damn
Yeah.
it. All right. I thought you might say
they
that.
so the college game and NFL game are vastly different. And there's reasons for that. One, I mean, the footballs are different sizes, which is, not only people knew that, they're different size footballs.
That's not what I thought you were going to start with.
The hash marks,
Yeah, okay.
well, the college one's a little thicker. The hash marks are wider in college. And so it's a different game. And so when guys make a transition from the NFL to college, I'm always curious to see how they do it, right? And we've seen Wake Martindale did it well at Michigan, and I just didn't know what to expect from Matt Patricia. And the hard part is pressuring with the hashes so wide. There's just a lot of field to cover, and you can't disguise as well. So for their ability to disguise pressure so well, is a hats off to. I didn't expect this to happen in game one. It took Wake Martindale a little bit of time in Michigan to figure out what he wanted to be, and it didn't take any time, obviously, for Patricia to feel this way. Look, it's a big change. Jim Knowles did a great job last season, a different scheme this year, and he coached his ass off, man. He was ready for this game. He was very ready for this game.
Okay, so
by the way, it also Texas had 4 new offensive linemen. I think I'm running that count. I mean, so like it was going to be an uphill battle. It was going to be an uphill battle for them anyways, and adding in the Patricia element just made it really difficult.
Well, Hank, our producer here, is a big Texas guy, as loyal listeners know. I don't really want to get into too much more Texas now. We'll have chances. My memory of the last few seasons, let's call it the Sark era, is that they have some early loss that's pretty easily excused. They rip for a while, and suddenly they're right in the middle of it again. And so I suspect that will probably happen. But I do want to call up this tweet from our buddies over at DraftKings. This is a pretty interesting comparison. Is Steve Sarkisian the new James Franklin, basically? Not good against top 5 teams. Great, seemingly great coach, wins a lot of games, gets you to where you want to be, but never actually beats the good teams. That's kind of what it's feeling like these days.
Well, look, here's the truth is, Gabe, it's hard to win games against top 5 teams. That's the truth of it. And I don't know if it means the coach is terrible because he can't win those games. But you're going to have one winner, one loser, and you're just going to have trouble sometimes being able to win those games as a young coach. Now, the James Franklin thing is a problem when you're 1-15 because Penn State's great. It's just a matter of can they get home this year in those games that matter. And when you're at Texas and Penn State and Alabama and Georgia and Oregon, when you're in Ohio State, you're searching for a championship. Those are the biggest games we focus on. We don't care. Like Texas plays San Jose State this weekend. I'll tell you right now, I'll probably be on Texas. It's like they're favored by 36.5. They're going to just take all their anger out of San Jose State the entire game. But no one cares about that, right? They care how you play against Ohio State and Georgia and Alabama. And I'll just say this, okay? Ryan Day was looked at as a coach who could not win the big game until he won the big games. So You might think that about Sark right now, and Sark might come in the playoffs, and Arch is playing good, and all of a sudden they win a championship, and all of a sudden he's a good coach. It turns out like Ryan Day now, which I thought was always a good coach, is now a legendary coach. He won a championship, and 4 weeks before that, when he lost to Michigan, he was a bum who had to be fired. So that it's just hard to win those games, and you're gonna have a winner and loser, obviously, in those. I think more importantly, Gabe, it's how you look in those games, right? They like Texas looked out coached. That to me is the problem. James Franklin doesn't. He's had moments where he's looked out coached in these games, but just sometimes he just gets his ass kicked. Like Ohio State just better than Penn State, Michigan just better than Penn State. But being out coached, I think, is the question here, right? Like, why is Matt Patricia more prepared for this game than Sark's offense?
Yeah. Well, you're right. You're a loser until you're a winner. And then once you get into that winner's circle, you can pierce your nipples and put them on display for all to see. That's how it works in college football, right?
Or is there a specific person you're talking about?
Come on, you don't even know what I'm talking about?
Am I missing the joke here?
Oh, God, that was good, Jeff. I got you with one.
What?
You didn't see the picture of Ryan Day with a nipple piercing?
Wait, okay. I saw the picture of him. So look, I was at the Oregon game on Saturday. Like I missed some of like the memes. Like I saw the picture of him.
You saw like, all the all-22s, but you didn't see the one shot of him with an obvious little bar on his left.
Okay, so
booby.
I saw the picture of him, like it looked like it was sweat coming down off his tit, right? And I was like, oh, why are they mocking him for this? He has a nipple piercing there?
Zoom in. Yeah, we'll get the picture of that. I'd like to stick with football though for a second here.
Okay, go.
This is what the internet was talking about. I'm just bringing up alleged. Yeah, there it is. That's the image people were talking about. Sorry, audio listeners. You just have to close your eyes and imagine a nipple piercing on Ryan.
Okay, so I'll tell you this: there are. It's probably not the way anymore because facilities are so good. But there was like when we played at Cal, you had to shower with the coaches at Cal because there's one shower for everyone to use. And the funniest part when this happens is coaches have like tattoos and nipple stuff like that you just did never expect. I remember an offensive line coach in the NFL, which showered in one shower in the NFL too. He had like a Tasmanian devil tattoo on the side of his ass that like we just like I had no idea it was there. And this feels a situation where you had no idea that, wow, yeah, it was there till it's there.
Unless we're being deep faked. There's always the possibility. People had so much fun with this picture. Maybe it's not real. We don't even know. I don't think it matters. The point is you just told us about a coach who had a Tasmanian devil tattoo that you saw in the shower. And that's making us smarter, Jeff. Let's take a quick break, come back, hit a few more college football topics, and then I think most people are starting to get very excited about the NFL. All right, YouTube audience stuck with us. Audio audience, hello, we're back. Jeff, do you want to hit a couple more quick college football topics? And then
let's do it. Yes.
All right, so obviously you mentioned Oregon. Was that your favorite game of the weekend, or was there some other that you want to talk about?
Well, obviously, Oregon, look, I'll save my excitement for maybe another show. We're very good. Let's put it like that. We're very good. I don't know how good we're going to be.
You said on Twitter, maybe the best roster you've ever seen at Oregon.
It is the best roster we've ever seen at Oregon.
Wow.
We had 20 guys as either a true freshman or true sophomore or redshirt freshmen, so first, second year guys that really never played before that were like got significant time for us in this game, and we looked incredible. And Montana State, I get it, but like it's a very good team, Gabe. Dante Moore's really good. Like it's going to be a fun season. Nonetheless, my favorite win of the weekend, and of course it's week one, was what Florida State did to Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Mike Norvell last season, the year they had from hell. And to be able to basically stick through that and fight through that and end up basically beating Alabama's ass. I mean, it was 31-17. I didn't feel that close through a lot of that game. And by the way, this is another situation where Alabama comes out, first drive of the season, touchdown. You're like, oh, here we go. And then it was, let's see here. It was a missed field goal, punt, downs, field goal, fumble, downs, and then a touchdown to make it 24-17, and then they ended on downs as well. So like just first good drive, really nothing else happening after that. And it's more about the lack of effort, I think, and the lack of hustle. But really what Florida State did is they just owned the line of scrimmage, Gabe. And when you own the line of scrimmage, which is what Norvell's teams had done in the past, whether at Memphis or early at Florida State, you have a chance to win every single game. And I love that their quarterback, we could put the tweet up now, Tommy Castellanos, basically called out Alabama before the game and then backed it up with their performance. So to me, he said, by the way, for those on the audio side, they don't have Nick Saban to save them. I just don't see them stopping me. And he didn't throw very much. He was 9 for 12 for 152 yards, but he had 78 yards on the ground on 16 carries. Just a really well-earned victory for Florida State. And Norvell went through a lot last year, and to come out on the other side of it with this big win, to me, that was the most impressive win.
Okay, then I have an important question.
Yes.
For the deep college football fans, do we think the dog poop guy finally ate the poop?
So
do you want to explain that and make things smarter? So they go undefeated, they get left out, they get upset, and the guy who had previously said, if they do XYZ, I'll eat dog poop. And then he was like, I'm not doing that. And he wouldn't eat the dog poop. And then people think that jinxed them for another season or two. And now here they are with a huge win. And the question is the jinx lifted because he ate the dog poop? Make us smart.
Maybe it was Herbie's dog poo he ate, and then what's the dog's name?
Celebrity dog.
Celebrity dog poop.
I don't know the dog's name. If we ever learn the dog's name, it's going on the banned list. I don't want to know the dog's name.
I think it's Peter or Pete.
Whatever. Football. We only got so much time here.
We only do so much time. Okay,
let's talk Bama real quick. Yeah. Real quick, Bama.
Yes.
What the hell, man? Does this coach DeBoer make it past a third loss this year? I don't think so.
I don't know. So what's interesting about Alabama is, and Pelham mentioned this, right? It's like there's plays where the lack of effort is kind of apparent, Gabe. And I watched every snap his Washington teams played, right? Obviously, I despise Washington, but I was covering the Pac-12 during that time. They won the Joe Moore Award, for heaven's sake. Like, they won the award for the outstanding offensive line in college football. So to see an Alabama team that doesn't have that same personality is really interesting, because, again, the Washington guys bought in. They were physical. They were tough. They played with great effort and energy. And you look at Alabama, it's not quite the same. Now, they have good pieces, right? Great pieces even. But the lack of effort is questionable. And then just the physicality in the trenches is not what we've seen in Alabama in the past. And quite honestly, it's not what we've seen in Washington. So I don't have a great answer for you, man. I don't know why it's not working out in Alabama. Maybe his message is not the same. Washington, he got the most out of guys that were on the lower end, like 3-star guys, low 4-star guys, not paying a ton of NIL money. Now you're at Bama, you're recruiting really well. Maybe he doesn't relate to players as well at Alabama. I don't have a great answer, Gabe. I don't know why his team or the style of play is so different from Washington to Alabama. Normally that just carries over, right? You did it at Fresno State, you did it at Washington, it should carry over to Alabama. In year 2, I did expect that carry over this year. We didn't see it in game 1.
I have a theory.
What's your theory?
Maybe his players should stop making ridiculous TikToks, which they seem more interested in than anything else. Oh, yeah. Hours after the loss, we've got everybody on the TikTok dancing their asses off. Why are we doing this, guys? What are we doing? I'm sorry. I'll just be the old guy. Like, go be football players at Alabama. You don't need to dance on TikTok. Just go walk up to a girl on campus. You don't need to do all this nonsense. Take advantage of the fact that you are a star football player at Alabama and enjoy that. Get off TikTok.
Yeah, I'm with you as maybe the two old heads, but yeah, I would rather the players get off TikTok and do that. Yeah.
Okay. Any preseason takes you want to take back now that we've seen one full week of college football? Anything you got wrong?
I did not expect to be dunked on as hard as I did by a receiver of a team. I give out my weekly wagers on social media, 58% last 5 years. And I'd give out my wagers for this week for college football, included Cal. And I thought Cal was going to lose at Oregon State. They had a true freshman quarterback and a ton of roster turnover, the best players left. And I was debating with one of a Cal fan on social media. And I said, are they going to score any points? And I didn't expect them to score many points. And lo and behold, they scored 34. They kicked Oregon State's ass. Their true freshman quarterback looked incredible. And their leading receiver, Tron Grizzle, I think that's how we say it, right? Tron Grizzle.
It's an awesome name.
called me out. Said, "Great take, Geoff." I think the tweet's been deleted. I think I can't find it. So, nonetheless, I deserved it, Gabe. Very bad take, not good, and I got dunked on pretty hard by Trond Grizzle.
Trond, if you are as real, at least as that picture of Ryan Day's boobs.
No, he's real. He was the leading receiver in the game. I looked him up.
Tron, this seat is yours as soon as you want it. Please come in here and debate Geoff on anything you like. You are welcome here. Don't do it on TikTok. Do it right here on Geoff Schwartz is Smarter Than You. I love it. By the way, second person who name checked you recently called you out. I think we got a little bit of a beef brewing with our boy Ryan Russillo.
Wait, it's still there, by the way. So I don't know why I can't find the tweet.
Tron's
it's still
not
up. Okay,
hiding
good.
From you.
I just couldn't find it. I just couldn't find it. I don't know why I couldn't find it anymore, but it's still up there. Good. Okay, good. I deserved it. I thought they wouldn't score and they did.
Good. Get him, Grizzle. So Grizzle and Russillo, both on the list of people coming at Geoff Schwartz this season, and I like it. I'm here for it.
Russillo does this thing where I don't end up communicating with him very much. I think my brother does. I think him and my brother are I don't know, they communicate enough. I sound like my dad when I say that. Just communicate it. That's what my dad does. I communicated with someone. He takes a shot at me like once every 6 months about offensive linemen. I get text messages from people like, "Hey, Russillo did it again." That's the best I got from someone. He sent me the link. He goes, "Russillo called you out again." I'm like, "For what?" He goes, "The same thing he always does." So I was like, "It's an offensive line." Something about getting
yelling at him about offensive line rankings.
About offensive linemen. So you open an invite to come on the show and debate me. I know, congratulations again, new job. I don't know if that affects his availability to come on the show, but anytime you're welcome to come on the show and debate me on offensive line.
Look, Ryan and I were friends back in our day in Bristol. I'd love to see Ryan Russillo here. I think before that, if the Bookers are listening, get us Tron Grizzle. I want him. Give me Tron.
I am very much in for Tron. If we can get Tron, I mean, hey, don't we have people that like the book for the show? Like send Tron a DM,
including one who's a Cal alum.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Who's the Cal alum? You can say.
I'm going to start putting everyone on blast here.
I'll go to the that Cal alum should get. That'd be really funny to get Tron on. I would love that actually. If you can make that happen, we'll make it happen this week. We'll get him on the show, and he can tell me I'm an asshole.
Do you know what? This Tron Grizzle bit is growing as we speak. I'm just realizing. I texted you a few weeks ago about one game I wanted to go to this season. Oh no, it wasn't Cal. I was about to say I want to come to the Grateful Dead game in Eugene because they'll be playing Cal, but they're playing against Wisconsin, which makes no sense. Giant miss by Oregon.
We don't play Cal anymore, buddy.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, the conference got blown up. All right, that's why you make us smarter. Hey, I got an original take, not just me curating the internet like I tend to do. An original take I want to drop on you involving Deion and Micah Parsons. That's next. Geoff, we're back. Audio listeners, hello. Here comes an original take, and this will switch us to week 1 of the NFL season. You ready for this?
Let's go.
Let's back up to January of 2025. The rumors of Deion Sanders maybe being the next Cowboys coach, they don't come to be. Brian Schottenheimer and his backwards visor end up head coach of the team. If we could go back in time now, Deion becomes Cowboys coach. Everyone involved in that situation is better off. Micah Parsons is not leaving Dallas if Deion is there to talk through this situation. Deion is the kind of guy who keeps Micah happy in that locker room. It seems like just a personality issue at the end of the day. I don't think Deion lets that go sideways. Meanwhile, Deion is not at Colorado, where he is going to be exposed as an insufficient head coach, at least within game situations, as we saw week 1.
Yeah.
Everybody would have been better off. And now we're going to see on Thursday night, the Cowboys ain't it.
It's going to be a rough go for Deion this season, I feel like. Sanders and son Sanders and Travis Hunter made it up a lot for some of the coaching mistakes. You know what? The thing about Deion, it's kind of odd, Gabe, is he's a very conservative head coach. Like you would think he wouldn't be. He'd be like fourth down, like going forward. Like he's just not that type of coach. It's kind of odd to see that, quite honestly. I thought you think he would be that way. The Cowboys Parsons trade to me, the thing I'm really hung up on. Well, first of all, it's a terrible trade for the Cowboys. Like just atrocious trade. They got 2 draft picks that are going to be lower first round draft picks and Kenny Clark. I just think that's an atrocious trade. But the thing that I get so hung up on about this whole thing, Gabe, is the idea that Jerry Jones thought he had a deal because they had a handshake agreement. Okay. And I bought the Cowboys with a handshake agreement. I don't care, Jerry. And that's also not what happened, of course, right? Because there were 30 days of lawyers meeting every day to do the paperwork about your sale. Like, I just don't care you did it with a handshake in 1989. And my handshake is my word. But Gabe, a handshake agreement needs two parties to agree to the handshake. If you talk negotiations and talk, and excuse me, if you talk in a negotiation with Micah Parsons and he just says, great conversation, Jerry, talk to you next time and shakes your hand, that's not an agreement. You very clearly, Parsons did not leave that meeting with you in agreement over a contract. And for this to be the sticking point of I signed his, I signed it, I shook his hand and we're good. Gabe, that is ludicrous. And that's the one part of this that I just cannot get over is that Jerry Jones was just so hard into the idea that they agreed to a handshake deal and they have to honor that contract because they talked in March about it without the agent being involved. And it kind of explains the Cowboys and the way they're not able to win for many, many years in a row now. Just sort of refusal to adapt to the way things are done nowadays. And Micah Parsons has a podcast. We don't like he has a podcast. I don't love it either. I think players should wait to do media until it's time to do media. I think sometimes players say things on these podcasts they think is innocuous and not really important, but it kind of is. People take you by your word. And if you say things on a podcast and you think it's LOL, it's a joke, or I'm not being serious, people think you're serious. I think players don't understand that when they're playing sometimes, Gabe. It takes you to retire to understand that. I mean, I wouldn't do a podcast when I was playing. I'm also not Micah. I'm also not the players now that getting paid 18 years old and have their own media empires, right? Like it's different nowadays. But all this, again, the handshake thing, I can't get over, Gabe. I don't know why that irks me so much, but very clearly he felt that a deal was done via handshake in March.
Yeah. Well, the fact that the deal got done when it did, how it did, they play each other week 4. Like going to the Packers was extra surprising. But all of that surprised me. What surprised me even more was finding out just a few days before the season starts that Micah Parsons is pregnant, or at least going into labor. He's having an epidural shot. I did not know anyone but women in a delivery room had epidural shots in their back. What in the hell is an L4, L5 facet joint, and why is he getting an epidural shot in there? And shouldn't we be concerned about that? That sounds bad.
So I think they're using the wrong term here. He's just getting an injection to lessen inflammation. If it's called epidural shot, then so be it. But I mean, I've had these. It's a steroid injection, right? I never really heard it. I guess it's epidural shot. It's just an injection to help inflammation. Because imagine if he has a back problem, he has basically like a nerve that's inflamed with a disc, a herniation, and so they're just getting a shot to remove the pain from his back. I mean, I've had those before. The problem with this, obviously, and Foe agrees in the background here, is these linger all season, and these shots don't always work. And it's about payment. I mean, this is what Matt Stafford did, by the way. The epidural shot, that maybe they use a different term for him. That worries me. That worries me a lot. Can you get to the finish line with a back injury of this magnitude? So hope it works. You might have to have 3 or 4 of these throughout the season to get there. And that does concern me a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not trying to compare Micah Parsons, one of the best athletes on earth, to my wife, a small woman, but they gave her epidural shots for what she described as like the worst pain of her life. So I just,
but
my eyes went a little sideways when I saw epidural.
So epidural shot that she got is like a block. It numbs the pain from her, wherever they did it in her spine down her legs, right? So you don't feel as much pain when you're giving birth. He's not getting a nerve block. Again, that's why epidural shots like a broad term, but he's getting just steroids put into the spot where the disc bulge is at between L4 and L5 hoping that it breaks up the inflammation on that nerve and gives his nerve a little less pain. I just did it with my fingers off camera. I mean, that's what I'm trying. But like we all have had those before. If you're a player of a long time, your back gets a little flared up sometimes. Not the same epidural shot that our wives got before they gave birth to our children.
Okay, you've made me smarter again. DraftKings is, of course, presenting sponsor of this show. You make lots of picks every time you meet with Matt at the end of the week, but I'm going to start here because they're playing week 4, Packers, Dallas, in Dallas, I believe. Right now, we see that at 2.5 for the Packers.
Sure. Okay.
You want to make an early bet on that game? Try to lock it in now because that number's going to move.
Yeah, I would take the Packers right now if I had a choice. But because that'll be above 3 before kickoff, in my opinion, especially if the season goes the way it starts for both these teams. I think the Packers, especially if the Packers win this weekend, they beat the Lions this weekend, that number is going to skyrocket immediately. So the Packers have, I'll tell you what, so the Packers have Lions, Commanders, Browns, and Cowboys. I mean, if they start 0-2, that number is going to be great. You're going to get a bad number if you get it today. I would, if you're asking me right now, I would go Packers. I take the Packers and lay the 2.5.
All right. Last topic very quickly because I think it'll set up one other team we want to talk about. So I saw a Tom Brady quote saying of Aaron Rodgers, he is, quote, the greatest passer of the football the league's ever seen.
Yes.
Note, he did not say the best quarterback. He said greatest passer of the football. So A, is this actually just sort of a burn? And B, has he not seen Pat?
It's not a burn. I think he's just giving Rodgers love for his arm talent, which I think is certainly up there. I think for Pat, if I start throwing the ball deep again this season, he'll be back in that conversation. I just think that's taking him out of the conversation for that reason. I think Pat and Rodgers are very comparable when it comes to the arm talent, their ability to make the big throws. And so I would imagine that we will see a little bit of that more this season. And speaking of that, Gabe, I'm thinking about our show with Matt.
You're done with me. You're on to the next show.
We will do our NFC West, AFC West preview that'll be out next couple of days. And then we will have our week 1 best bets as well. So we will have 3 episodes this week. We'll have this one. We have 2 with Matt. We give 1 more division preview. We're going to spend a lot of our money, by the way, in the AFC West. I'm telling you right now, we have a lot of money left to spend. Then we'll do our best bets. We go through all the games. We give you our 5 favorite that we're going to put into a contest on DraftKings for the entire season. We'll keep track of those as we normally do. And Tron Grizzle, hopefully, make an appearance. Tron Grizzle. I mean, his DMs might be open too. We would just send him a DM, be like, "Yo, hey, come on through." No, not open. Oh man, maybe you have a connection.
Not to you. I mean, he's no fan of you. Maybe I should try.
I love like dunked on by a Cal wide receiver after they beat Oregon State. Oh, so great game. Not on my bingo card. It was not on my bingo card at all this week. I've given these picks out for years now. And I've said things about programs and players, and I've never gotten pushback from anyone except Tron Grizzle.
My hero. And I want him here. I've never heard of him until this moment, really. But now he's my favorite player. I'm going to go get a jersey. Tron, please come on the show. Geoff, please give me winning picks later this week with Matt.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to watch week 1 of the NFL season and week 2 of the college football season and come back here and talk to you again next week.
We'll be back next week with you. We'll be back this week with Matt on the West preview. And then, of course, our best bets later in the week as well. So talk to you guys then. Hope you enjoyed the show. Please rate, review, subscribe. Also, YouTube. We need those YouTube views. So please go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Football America is where this lives. And there is Ryan Day's nipple piercing, alleged nipple piercing again for our YouTube audience. We'll talk to you guys in a couple of days. Thank you, everybody.